Season of Witchcraft started with some minor and major bugs, some features being disabled and fixed, and some players being unhappy. All or most of these issues were resolved before the first weekend, and now that it's almost 2 weeks since the season started, it's about time to ask, is it good? As you can see, the season is theoretically over for me. I finished the entire battle pass and all chapters in the seasonal journey. My character has almost 50 hours and I'm currently trying to do all the seasonal objectives 100% to get the hidden seasonal achievement. I've already recorded videos from PTR, patch notes and campfire chat, so I'll try not to repeat myself that much in this review. For more information, I refer you to my previous videos because not much has changed since the PTR, although there are few changes for the better. The season is based on headhunts, new areas with a lot of whispers. We finish whispers, collect caches from the Tree of Whispers or the Raven that we can find in each seasonal area, and look for seasonal bosses that come out of cocoons that can be created by clicking on exposed roots. The most desirable encounter is the boss called Fugitive Head, because from it we get a head that is used to craft new seasonal gems. In addition, in seasonal areas we collect Restless Rot, which is a kind of seasonal currency for which, apart from the gems already mentioned, we buy and upgrade our witch powers. New whispers have been improved after the PTR. The numbers of actions we have to perform has mostly decreased, which makes them faster to do. For example, the Seek Whisper requires us to find only 3 head rottens thanks to the frogs instead of 5. This spell has to be repeated only 3 times instead of 6, and the Lost Wisp is no longer bugged, it only resets if we leave it for a longer while. But in the Shepherd Whisper we have to lead 4 animals to safe place instead of 3. However, this does not extend the time it takes to finish this whisper because the animals are often very close to each other. Whispers are completed very quickly, some of them can be done while doing others, and some simply finish themselves. You just need to play in seasonal area. After clearing the entire area of whispers, which can take you about 15 minutes, you can move to another headhunt because there is always one active on the map. Because apparently during the PTR some people didn't like that there are 3 altars with witch powers, each with different type, Eldritch, Psyche, Growth and Decay. The devs decided that each altar will have literally the same thing. It's a shame because it's an obvious killing of the role-playing part in the ARPG abbreviation, and as you can see from this thread on the forum, no matter what you do, you won't please everyone. In addition to the powers of the 3 types already mentioned, there are 4 classified as lost powers that can be found in dungeons and pit. Some say that they can be found in any dungeon-like area, like cellar, but at the time of recording this I have not found any confirmation of this. The positive news is that if you find such altar, you can then invite a friend to your team to teleport to you and also click it to obtain a lost power. Thus, thanks to my friend, I found the last missing power. Unfortunately, lost powers are not random. You find them one by one, so if you dream of Piranha Tornado, yes, you guessed it, you have to find 3 previous lost powers first. I generally like witch powers. They look good, are colorful and really buff our character by offering something like familiar, healing, crowd control, make enemies vulnerable or increasing damage. Gems complement these powers. I currently use 1 seasonal gem that pulls monsters to me. And good news for all those who want to create a new character. Witchcraft powers and their upgrades transfer between all your alts, which means you no longer have to buy, upgrade or even search for lost powers on your newly created character. Great stuff. Doing whispers, and not only those in headhunts area, pushes our reputation meter towards, and the rewards are unlocking new witchcraft powers and caches with basically the usual, some items, boss summoning materials, crafting materials and so on, ending with Resplendent Spark. Unfortunately, there is no mount trophy typical for this season as there was in previous season. We do not get a trophy from reputation, seasonal journey nor the bosses. resources. There is, however, the new pet to get, Dorian the Raven, for completing the last chapter of the seasonal journey. The seasonal journey itself has been changed and rebalanced. It includes tasks that require co-op play, which understandably worries some players. Fortunately, there is only a couple of them, and it's not complete the Dark Citadel objective, so you can breathe easily. Currently, the penultimate chapter, Champion, resembles the task that we could once find in the last chapter, Destroyer. Objectives like obtain the maximum reputation rank or upgrade 10 witch powers to level 20, which is the maximum. Now the last chapter, Destroyer, contains objectives that require some commitment from us. They might be a challenge for some, and I must admit that I had some problems with a few of them, and I intend to record a video on how to do a seasonal journey 100%, focusing on these more tricky and difficult tasks. The problem I see is that all these objectives in the last chapter, except for one, can be done only on Torment 4. For me and probably many players, this is not a problem, but didn't the creators say before changing the system from 4 reward tiers to 4, let's say, basic ones and 4 Torment, that the Torment 4 was to be optional, that players could stay at T1 and get the same as at harder levels? Don't get me wrong, I like challenges, especially since these are not exceptionally difficult, and in addition, you don't have to do all the tasks like in Diablo 3 to finish the chapter and get the prizes, but this contradicts the creator's previous philosophy, because currently the situation is clear. You won't finish the season and you won't get a new pet if you're not at Torment 4. By the way, yes, there is a Resplendent Spark in this cache, so you get one for the finished season and one for the Max Coven reputation. Overall, I'm having the same fun I had during the PTR, which is to say, I'm having a good time. I like the current drop of ancestral items as well as the acquisition of aspects. I finally feel like I can even max out my Codex of Power. This doesn't mean that ancestrals or legendary aspects are just dropping from the sky. You still have to find them, farm a bit and just play the game, but I don't feel as bored with it as I did last season. I see that finding max out aspect I'm using is no longer bordering on impossible. We also find quite a lot of gold. This is what my wealth looks like after almost 50 hours of gameplay, and I would like to point out that I have already reloaded affixes many times, and the fact that I have not sold a single item during this season to any vendor nor player I'm not interested in trading at all. I have a feeling that after all the requests to add a sell all button to vendors, the following scene played out at Blizzard headquarters. Hey John, because I don't feel like programming this sell all button and the season is coming soon, players will complain again that selling individual items is a pain. Can something be done about it? For example, something so that they do not want to sell anything? Maybe we should just disable all vendors for the season, or better yet, remove them from the game. Nah, I'll just add 2 zeros to the end of the value of the possible gold drop rate and the problem is solved. Thanks, John. You're the best. It's also worth mentioning the amount of Obdusite we get from the dungeons has probably been increased, because even before filling this urn with ashes, I could easily collect over 1,000 Obdusite in a single Nightmare dungeon. Headhunts has a great mob density, a lot is going on, there's always something to do, and whispers can be collected really quickly. Comparing all this with other activities, Helltide seems a bit pale, weak, and boring. I really didn't want to do those Helltide seasonal objectives. I had so much fun on Headhunts. I also asked my friend, who I sometimes play with, what he thought about new season. The guy is a perfect target audience, you know, 4 wives, herd of kids, 3 jobs, and he mostly shares my opinion. What bothers him the most since the last season are the 4 basic difficulty levels, which could be merged to a maximum of 2, and the fact that you can't open the pit before level 60 to go to Torment 1. I don't understand that either. I think such gatekeeping is unnecessary and limit more ambitious players or those with a meta build. The last thing that annoys him is backtracking in the pit, which happens too often, returning from some longer branches or completely from floor 2 to floor 1 for that one last monster because the portal to the boss won't open. The pit in general is a problem in my opinion. It was supposed to resemble Greater Rifts from Diablo 3, but unfortunately it lacks a few things and that make it annoying. Leveling glyphs is an activity that we both honestly don't like. Now I also show you on my barb what the Battle Pass armors look like. Here we have 3 armor, which I really like, as well as 3 weapon transmogs. And here the first and second armor from the paid Battle Pass. Let's not forget about tombstones, portals, and horses, which we can now change from anywhere because the stable options have been added to the wardrobe and we can always access it directly from the character profile. Snakes are fashionable this season. Literally. When I get the achievement for 100 completed season, I'll record a video for you on how to achieve it because some of the tasks are firstly a bit poor described and secondly I found clever methods to do them, unless by then Blizzard releases some hotfix or patch that changes something or simplifies these objectives. I'll start playing Druid later, maybe a Necromancer too, because I'm really having a blast, but we'll see. The links you may need are in the description. Leave a like, subscribe and take care.